Party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show here, the Mothership Studio 22. Dolly's in the floor, just tearing everything up. It's a good day. It's a good day, unless you love this country and you want this thing to go better than what it's going, because right now it's going straight to hell in a handbasket. Folks have no idea what's being created, especially once these elections are certified in the state of Georgia. If Raphael, come here, dog. If Raphael Warnock and Ossoff have won in Georgia, they're screwed. How are you? Happy New Year, hot news, Natalie.
Happy New Year. I was itching to get back. I'm really happy to be back. Yeah.
Yeah, you're out of your mansion.
We moved into our new house.
Yeah, it's a mansion. It's a mansion, Lisa Page.
It's just a cabin on a hill right now.
Have you seen
it?
I'm going again tomorrow. I've seen before, and now I'm going to see after.
Yeah.
That's funny. Look at this dog down here.
So cute.
Dolly making her studio debut. She's so small that people can't even see her in the screen right there. Look at her.
But Twitter Bird.
Twitter Bird. She got Twitter Bird.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to get Herbert the Silent Deer down in a little while. Just let her know
she's
on
going to lose her mind. She will lose her mind.
Master Mark's over there with Candice, the queen of the Ethiopians. Giving her Twitter Bird was a bad mistake, because now Twitter Bird's singing the whole time.
Maybe the audio isn't picking it up. Maybe our audio isn't picking it up.
Oh, no, I'm sure it's picking it up. You know why? Because the Puppet Master Mark is a perfectionist, and he makes sure that everything in here is crystal clear and
we're
quality.
unidirectional.
I can hear it in my ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, trust me, it can be heard. So the music you're hearing is basically an episode of Snow White right here. We got birds singing. We got dogs growling.
Yep.
It's awesome. But I'm okay. I wanted a day to just chill and hang out with you.
I know.
And just talk about this. Just forget the world and all of its sorrows.
Whew.
Yeah.
That was hard to wake up to this morning.
That's pretty bad. And, you know, I hate being right, but I called it.
Yeah.
I called it. I did over and over again, and people get mad at me. Like, that you think that we're going to get into this today, because we were talking about this before we got started. Nobody wants to tell the truth. Everybody wants to live in la-la land. And I'm so sick of the Twitter conservatives who are on there every day saying, oh, Donald Trump's going to be president. It's going to happen. God told me. God told me this, and God told me that. This prophetic thing. You make yourself look like a fool, and you make your faith look foolish, because God hasn't told you anything like that. He just hasn't. So you look at stuff, you interpret reality, and you go on with it. You stay in the fight, but at the same time, I mean, the handwriting was on the wall, Lisa. Handwriting was on the wall.
So I'm fasting and I'm praying today.
Are you?
Yes. I've already broken the fast, but I'm going to continue to pray.
Hey, every little bit counts. Party foul, are you fasting?
No, I ain't fasting shit.
Don't believe in it. Look at this dog right here. I got to show everybody. Hang on one second.
Yeah, get her on up on camera.
Cutie. She's going to growl.
What we're going to do is we're going to throw Twitter Bird away and throw it over there on Allie Stuckey's set. Look at this sweet baby, Mark. Look at this dog right here.
So cute.
Oh, Dolly, you're such a sweet baby. Everybody's convinced that Willie's buried in the backyard. That Willie's no longer with us or something. She's just a puppy, and she's full of energy, aren't you? Yeah. Tell everybody hello. Yeah.
So cute.
Willie's alive and well, everybody.
I think Dolly rules the roost at your house, though.
Huh?
Dolly rules the roost at your house.
And Dolly's in control. Trust me. She thinks she's 5 feet tall. I mean, she really has that blue heeler. People ask, what is she? She's an Australian cattle dog or a blue heeler. And everybody thinks that, you know, she's some kind of sweet little docile thing. As you have found out, she will draw the blood.
At your party, she was docile, but there's a lot going on.
There's a lot happening, yeah.
A lot going on. I just saw her a few days ago, and she was a lot more chill. Now she's wired for speed. You gave her catnip.
Yeah, and Glenn, as soon as I walked in the studio today, Glenn Beck, he said, apparently on his radio show this morning, he said that he was going to need an emotional support dog for his live show tonight. and everybody kept saying, ooh, you need Chad's dog. You need Chad's dog. And sure enough,
here we are.
I walked in, and Glenn goes, can I have your dog at 8 tonight? Yeah, I'll run her right over, Glenn. It's hard to say no to Beck, but no, Glenn. I got a life, man. I got stuff to do. Hey, y'all, if you enjoy wine as much as I do, look at this. There it is. You need to try some of that extreme altitude Malbec wine from Argentina. It's a healthier wine, actually. They make it up in these remote vineyards at 9,000 feet, and they're miles from civilization. And the result is an inky red wine. You look into the glass, it's seriously like looking into your soul, people. This is good stuff. I mean, good stuff. I wish you drank wine.
Yeah, I smell it.
So, yeah, you smell it. Healthier, as I said, than other wines. 10 times more longevity-boosting resveratrol and 90% less sugar. No dyes, no flavor, no additives. Best part, it's the flavor. Blackberry, leather, smoke, and a little dark cherry. So I want you guys to go over to cowboywines.com. You're going to find a Malbec from the third highest vineyard in the world, 8,950 feet. That's a long way up. No inflated prices. You're getting top quality foreign wine for about half the price. Plus, for my listeners and viewers, you're going to get 50% off shipping today. Just head over to cowboywines.com. Go to cowboywines.com. Hang tight. We're going to encourage you today. You know, you can kind of see the trends across the country with what's going on in different states, and there's no question about it. America is a divided country. We are divided right down the middle. I mean, it's amazing that you have a runoff like you did between Ossoff and David Perdue there in Georgia, and they still haven't certified that one. They can't because it's just too close. I mean, you're talking about a 50-50 split, and that's the way it is all the way across the country, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the population centers, they tend to be blue. And, you know, the rest of the country tends to lean a little more conservative. What do we do about this, Steve? What do we do?
It's really kind of hard because those areas you're talking about, those blue areas, are so dependent on the government for everything in their life, from transportation to their food on their table. I mean, every aspect of it. You know, out there in, America, you got everybody, they don't want that. They don't want a handout. They want to work and provide for their own family. And that's half the country. So half and half.
Mayor Betsy Price of Fort Worth announced yesterday that she was not going to run for a sixth term. She's the longest sitting mayor in Fort Worth's history. She's a personal friend, and she's a strong lady. She's done a good job, in my opinion. But I was reading some of the comments on social media at that headline, and people were saying it's time for new leadership anyway because we need someone that reflects a changing demographic in Fort Worth, which, of course, Dallas and Austin and San Antonio and Houston have historically voted blue. Fort Worth, Tarrant County, has always voted red. In the 2018 Senate election between Robert Francis O'Rourke and Ted Cruz, they voted blue for the first time in the county's history.
Right.
Okay. They voted blue in the presidential election. So it's no question about it. The place that's called Cowtown, the place which is kind of held on to a heritage of the old Western, notoriety that it's had for hundreds of years, is blue, and the state's starting to get real purple. And we're talking about Texas here.
Yeah. And
it's purple.
They'll do away with the cattle drives in Fort Worth. You know, they do that. The farting cows right down Fort Worth.
Right.
You're out. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Yep.
You know, I mean, this is still every public street in Fort Worth. It's still legal. You can ride a horse. And I mean, that's just kind of a callback to a heritage that's going away. And that has nothing to do necessarily with conservative or liberal politics, but you're right. Listen, liberalism to me, in my opinion, people say, why are you a conservative? To me, liberalism is cancer. It destroys everything it touches. Because at the end of the day, the essence of the problem is man. People are the problem. If you give people too much free rein, they're going to mess things up. You look at this coronavirus and the shutdowns. You give these mayors and these governors too much power, they become dictators. We've seen that example over and over and over again. That's what's happened. They have too much. There's too much There's too much power given to them. There's no checks and balances. There's no conservatism to it. There's nobody saying, nope, you got to pull back. There's no accountability. They can go out and do whatever they want to do. They can claim it's in your best interest because whether it is or it isn't, it's not going to affect them, right? So you look at communities that have the highest rates of, let's say, welfare dependence, government handouts, food stamps, those things. Those are not prosperous communities, and they never will be. They never have been, and they never will be. And you can give them all the stimulus, you can give them all the money, you can give them all the rewards that you want to give them. It will never bring them out of poverty.
Matter. It won't matter.
Because poverty is a spiritual mindset. It is an emotional, spiritual mindset. I can talk to people who maybe they have money, but they're still poor in spirit. And the reason they are is because they have a poverty mindset. Never enough. It's the Silas Marner complex where you got to dig your gold up every night and run your fingers through it just to make sure it's still there, because you just think, then you put it back in the ground. It's a poverty mindset. And no matter what happens, there's always going to be, you give them all the Obama phones or whatever you want to say, but you give them $1 million and they're still going to be dirt poor in a year. It's a sad thing. Liberalism enables that type of mentality. It enables that. You give somebody free education in college, they will never value it.
Correct.
They will not. You do not value what you do not invest in, period. You give somebody free health care, they will abuse it. They will abuse it. And ultimately, the system you talk about, let's look at right now. I forget where it was. Kyle and I were driving in and I was listening to the news. And it was talking about one hospital that's gotten over capacity now. And they keep talking about all these hospitals at capacity. Well, first of all, hospitals are supposed to operate at about 95% capacity because that's how they make their money. So don't believe the jargon. But when you start talking about the healthcare system getting flooded with people and patients and needs and those kind of things with coronavirus, think about you give somebody free health care, and now they can run to the doctor for just anything they want to run to if they can get the appointment.
I was going to say, they won't be running to the doctor.
No.
It's going to be a wait.
Because it's going to be a flooded system, and it takes away the incentive of any doctor to do a good job.
Ask Canada.
Yep.
Well, and there are going to be these dumbasses out there who want to say, oh, Canada's got a great healthcare system. No, it doesn't. Y'all are crazy.
Not at all.
You're crazy. Doctors, okay, so let me break down what I just gave you. This is liberalism. This is just a symptom of liberalism. So I'm going to go to a doctor who got a free education that he doesn't value. Now, that's his bachelor's degree. Then he didn't value that, so he had to go on to medical school after getting basically a piece of crap bachelor's degree. Now he goes to medical school. But does he really want to invest all that money? Because he can't really use capitalism as an incentive anymore to go out and do what doctors do, and that is what, as we think, they just make all the money. Well, they don't have that capacity anymore because now we've removed that from them, because in this new free healthcare system, and I say that facetiously when I say free because nothing's free, you have a doctor who doesn't really want to go in and do the long hours, doesn't want to do the surgeries at 6 a.m. Why? Why? There's no incentive to get more surgeries done in a day. There's no incentive to get this thing done expediently because I'm not going to make any more money from it.
He may not even have the skill set because
exactly.
he graduated.
He's got a free education.
Well, he tried really hard and he got the trophy because he tried really hard. He may not, be competent, but why not just let's pass him? He tried.
Yeah. So
let that guy operate on you.
And history, don't even get me started on what liberalism does to history. Going to revise it, going to retell it, going to rewrite it, going to tear down the statues. This whole statue thing, I'm just revisiting a lot of last year that was going on with that stuff and some of the stuff here recently.
Was that just last year? Golly, it's been...
Well, they just took down they got the Washington, D.C. Statue of Abraham Lincoln and the slave that's getting up off of his knees because he's emancipating the slave. And then they have a replica of that, I think, in New York. I think it's New York. And they just removed that, took it out. These statues, first of all, that one is a great statue. It's a very empowering statue, especially for the black community. But they don't realize that because they've rewritten history. It's just like I read the article last week that said Abraham Lincoln had white privilege because he didn't really want to do anything for the blacks or something of that nature. And so, or for the slaves. That's the kind of revisionist history that's just bullshit. So you start removing these statues, you forget your history. When you forget your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Now, we say those things all the time, but it will repeat itself because let me go back to where I started this segment. The heart of the issue is the heart of man. It is wicked. It is desperately wicked. You know, we find the most vile things to do to each other. We find the most wicked things to do to each other. But then we slap a Band-Aid on it and think that we're causing or creating a solution when really we're exacerbating the problem. So, in other words, we think that, well, you know, here's how we get rid of sexual assault, sexual harassment, rape culture, any toxicity in masculinity. Here's how we get rid of all those things. We just start changing genders. Or we change pronouns, or we just redefine what a man and a woman is. Those kind of things. We get rid of the traditions. All that does is make it all worse. Because what we do is we take it to an extreme where now it's these people, the revisionists and the rewriters and the redefiners are the ones who are in charge. And guess what? There's nobody to keep them accountable. There's nobody to hold them back. And so now, I was watching ESPN the other day, and here's this sports commentator that's on there. He's talking about football, and behind him, there's books, right? And in his bookshelves and stuff, strategically placed, there was stuff about, there was books about slavery. There was books by, like, you know, these black activists and stuff. And I'm like, come on, dude. This dude was white. And he said, you're going to tell me you're reading all these woke books back here behind you, and you got them stacked, like you want to just strategically place these black power books behind you for your TV interview. You're an asshole. That's what you are.
Yeah, there's that virtue signaling again.
Yep.
You're an
Absolutely.
asshole. And that's the thing. Nobody wants to tell the truth anymore. Nobody wants to call things as they are. They don't want to do it.
Scared.
It's
Well, if they want
Tired?
to tear down statues and stuff like that, they need to go back over to Greece, tear down all those statues, then they go to the pyramids, tear all those down, all built by slaves.
They
Start
wanna.
there.
Probably on the way.
They want to.
On the way.
They'd do it if they could. Man, have you noticed that your hair isn't looking as full as it used to? Losing your hair sucks. So I want to talk about some options. You can go to your doctor for a hair loss treatment prescription, then go to the pharmacy and try not to go broke just to avoid going bald, or you can try Keeps from the comfort of your lazy boy. You'll get the same doctor-recommended FDA-approved hair loss treatment, but Keeps offers the generic versions for about half the cost. And one more thing you're going to love about Keeps, it's all online. You just answer a few questions, snap a few pics of your hair, and a licensed doctor will review your info and recommend the right hair loss treatment for you. Then it's shipped directly to your door. Why make unnecessary trips to the doctor and the drugstore when you can do it all from home? Let me get you started with a special deal. Go to Keeps, KEEPS.com/loss for 50% off your first order of Keeps hair loss treatments. That's Keeps.com/loss, Keeps.com/loss. Be right back. And today's the day when Congress votes to certify the electoral college vote count today. So there's going to be those who object to it. You know, Rob Eno said something profound on Monday's episode of The News and Why It Matters, which, by the way, tune in tonight. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Sarah Gonzalez is back. And I'm on it. So but Rob Eno made the comment. He said, Republicans lost the election, the presidential election, on the Sunday after Election Day, because by then they had nothing to fight back with. They kept talking about having evidence and all this stuff, but they never truly presented anything. They had no plan to fight. That's why I've said over and over again, people who ask me in private, they're like, what do you think is going to happen? Stu said it. Stu sat right there in that chair, and he said the same thing. And people got pissed watching this show. People got pissed because how dare he say that? Well, how dare he tell the truth? But he's not wrong. The man's right. I've been right about it. On January 20th, Joe Biden, barring some aneurysm, or on January 7th, maybe tomorrow after the Electoral College votes. Look, the Capitol building lights are going to be on late tonight because they're going to have some objections and they're going to have to go through it all. And you can get mad at me or whatever. Don't throw water on the fire alarm thinking you're doing some good. I'm just the messenger here. If you listen, we'll tell you what to do in the meantime. It doesn't mean we've quit fighting and we've quit all that stuff. But maybe tomorrow they start digging up all this stuff on Hunter Biden and it becomes a 25th Amendment deal where they can get Joe Biden out of there and Kamala Harris in and whatever they choose to do. I just don't think that Joe Biden ultimately is the plan. But if everything stays the way it is right now, then Joe Biden becomes the 46th president of the United States on January 20th, okay? Now, that's not good news for America.
No.
Whether you voted for Joe Biden, if you think, I mean, anybody that sits there and looks and thinks that these people are good for America, you're crazy, and you cannot provide a single reason why. Now, we got a flawed system. The system has become flawed. It's become corrupt. You know, we keep wanting the government to fix our problems without us realizing that our problem is the government. And so we got to get back to a place where we begin to demand. So the fight is now, how do we not overturn this election? How do we make sure that this shit doesn't happen again? One of the things, for instance, is we have to start hammering the fact that we need one election day where people show up and vote in person. Absentee or mail-in ballots are only used for the elderly, those who are truly, our military, folks who are overseas. But we absolutely have to hammer that we have one election day, not 3 weeks of election, and not months of trying to figure it all out. We sat here in this studio and we said back in October, we said, do you think that we'll know who the president is on November 3rd? We all said, nope.
Right.
Do we think we'll know who it is on December 3rd? Nope. Right? That's what happened. We were right on those kind of things. I feel like a political pundit right now. I was right. I told you.
Well, we are prophets.
I've never been wrong.
I feel like December 3rd you did know.
Well, yeah.
You did.
I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I knew what was going to happen. So those are the kind of things. Now we have to fight to fix a corrupt system. We either fix it or we overthrow it. And that's where we are. We're at 1776.
Yes.
We're at that level. You know, it's like the meme says, George Washington and his homies would be stacking bodies by now. It's a fact. They would. They just wouldn't put up with this. This is tyranny. This is not freedom. We're not conserving shit.
Bring ammo.
And I'm telling you, man, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you're all the problem. All of you are the problems. These politicians that have been in Washington, D.C. all this time, sitting up there like little God players, they are a thorn in the side of the average American. I mean,
100%.
You had that bill the other day where they wanted to put the stimulus thing, 5,090 pages. The Constitution 4 pages long. Constitution of the United States 4 pages long. They had to write something, and then they voted to pass it, and never read it. These idiots are the ones that are messing up our lives.
I said to Stu this morning, you know, I can't imagine being a Republican senator and now you're dealing with the Dems again.
Absolutely.
And he said, it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter to Tom Cruise, or Ted Cruz. It doesn't matter to any of the Republicans because they're still rich. They're still going to have their money. Their lives don't change. It's our lives, the American people, that will be punished for this. Their lives are still cushy. They still have their security. None of that. They're making lots of money. None of this is affecting the politicians, but it's affecting America, and we're all going to pay the price. So I hope that everybody that voted for Biden and was for this big fat movement, I hope you guys appreciate the next at least 2 years. You better wait to see what's coming because y'all voted for it.
Choke on it.
Get ready. Yeah.
It's
Get ready.
WWE.
Yep.
They come in there, they fight in the ring, and then they get in the same limo and go eat at the same steakhouse together.
Yep. Because the rules don't apply to them. Everybody else is locked down, mandated. You can't do anything. Can't go to small businesses. But it's cool if I'm a politician. I can go out. I can get my hair done.
That's right.
Fancy dinners.
Nero plays his fiddle while Rome burns. I mean, that's just they don't care. They don't care.
We only had one person that stood up against everything and fought both sides, and that was Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Republicans weren't prepared. We've said it several times. They weren't prepared for him to win the election to begin with.
Right.
They had no health care stuff in place, and I guarantee you right now they still don't.
Oh, and they never wanted to support him from the very beginning. No backbone. I'm embarrassed. I don't want to be a part of any party. It's disgusting. There's no backbone for the Republicans. No one has
DJ
stuck up for
TJ
him.
this morning
Right.
going off in his live cast, just calling out Republicans.
Yeah.
He was
They
like,
should be called out.
what have you become? You
Yep.
have no backbone. And then
None.
he started cussing a lot. It was great.
He just said bullshit once or twice.
Yeah. Because that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, it's oh, did you wake up? Is it time to move around
Look
now?
at her. Let her stick her leg.
Oh, stretch it out, girl.
Get it. Oh.
Okay.
Stretch it out.
That's one man can't do it by himself. He's got to have that entire party behind him.
Well, hats off to Donald Trump. He's done some things that were wrong. He said some things that were wrong. I give it to him. But the issue has never been Donald Trump. The issue has been what Trump represented. A non-politician who came in there and didn't give a crap what the media had to say. And the media fought against him for 4 years. They basically campaigned for the left for 4 years.
Yep.
And these little pinheads like Lindsey Graham, and these Republicans, Lindsey Graham, he was on the John McCain train. He didn't want Trump. He didn't like Trump. But then they started seeing how the average guy out there loved Trump. And they jumped on that Trump train. And John McCain died. And then they saw how they could get political power by pretending to support Donald Trump. They didn't support Donald Trump. They didn't support him.
That's including our own governor of the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad.
You look at a lot of these guys that are out there that are just, they're weak.
Yeah, they're all big disappointments.
Yeah.
They just played along. They drank the Kool-Aid. They wanted to keep their, 6-figure job, put on a good face, and tried to act like they're very good actors.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the left is recruiting the celebrities, which is a powerhouse in itself because they're registering people at their concerts.
Amen. Yep.
And dumping so much money into the Georgia election coming from all over. When are we going to stop that? That kind of money that comes in from other states and other cities. And
Yeah, see, I personally believe that you shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to have money from other states influencing state elections. If the money that's raised for the state of Georgia should come from the state of Georgia.
Amen.
Same for everyone.
A woman.
A
woman.
And from the Hebrew to the Shebrew.
That's right.
That's right. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Iran is really trying to get back in this game. See, they smell Biden 2.0.
Biden.
They smell Obama 2.0. I call him Biden.
You should call him Biden.
Yeah, because that's what's going to happen. Just so much Obama influence in this whole thing. You want to know who the real puppet master on the left is? It's Barack Obama, right? And his cronies. And there's puppet strings on his black ass too. Or half white ass, I don't know. But either way, Iran is wanting those, some more billions in pallets of cash. They know they can extort that from, anybody that's got the Obama influence. And
we won't know about it.
Probably not.
The media.
Look at all the stuff we didn't know about that was going on under the Obama administration.
Yeah. And what we can do as a superpower of the world, go pussyfooting around all these other nations, bowing to them and doing what they want. That's exactly what.
Well, they're pumping up their uranium to production to 20%. They're not supposed to be over 3.5%. So that's nuclear bomb capability. That's getting on that level right there. They've already said that they want to, avenge the death of Soleimani. They've said they want to put an assassination attempt, or they want to assassinate Trump for that. And play spot number 3, Mark.
We are flying a plane into the Capitol Wednesday. Soleimani will be avenged.
So computerized, digitized voice there says we're going to fly a plane into the Capitol on Wednesday. So, you get things like that. You hear things like that. These are just weird times we're living in. And typically they don't announce when they're going to do something like that or even attempt something.
I'm sorry, is that a digitally changed voice? Is that somebody's voice that was digitally enhanced?
Because it's one of those that you type it into a computer and the computer says it. Yeah.
So I'm like, I didn't hear any accent regardless.
I really think Biden and them will be apologizing for that assassination.
They are apologizers. Obama bowed down to all of them. And let me show you another thing that really pisses me off. You folks on the right are just as bad as folks on the left in many cases with your tactics that you try to use. Play number 1, Mark.
How you doing?
Put your mask on.
Don't tell me what to do.
Please put your mask on. It's required by law in the circle.
I'm standing 6 feet away.
I'm sorry. It's required of the
Okay, I'll tell you what, because you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it because I want to have a chat with you. Why aren't you supporting President Trump?
I do support the things President Trump does that I think I agree with.
You're not supporting him.
I'm sorry. I do agree with many of the things he is for, and I support those things.
Are you going to support him in the fraudulent vote?
The election? No, I'm not.
Why not?
Because it's a long story. I didn't get a chance to do my remarks in copy. It's going to be a real long story.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
It's a long story, but we have a Constitution. The constitutional process is clear. I'll follow the Constitution, and I'll explain all that when we meet in Congress this week.
Well, you haven't supported him, and you didn't even support him in the election.
No, I did not.
Why?
For reasons I explained at the time.
You were voted in as a conservative to represent the conservative constituents. Period.
That's not how the Constitution works.
It is. You're voted in to represent us. You work for us. Am I wrong?
I work for the people of Utah.
Exactly. And I am from Utah.
Yes, well, but you're not the only one.
I voted. I know. There's a lot of people that didn't vote for you. We'll make sure of that one.
Of course I'll be part of it. That's totally appropriate.
You admit it. You know it. You know it's coming.
They didn't want you in there anyway. So to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if you weren't even voted in legally.
Trump is a juggernaut. Your legacy is nothing.
You're a joke. Absolute joke. It's a disgusting shame.
So it doesn't matter who Mitt Romney is. First of all, he's a pinhead, right? I get that. And you walk up to somebody, put your mask on. Oh, my God. I mean, you want to just reach out and pull his off and just let it snap back on his face.
That was a defense mechanism because he knew what was about to happen.
He could see the anger in her gait.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with you approaching or conversing with an elected official.
Sure.
That's not the issue. It's the or anybody, not whether they're elected officials or not. That doesn't matter. It doesn't make them any more special than anybody else. That's a bestowed authority. But it's the method that people used when they approach people. And it's like you're going to go you're being harassing is what you're being. So don't be that way. I don't like Mitt Romney. I don't agree with Mitt Romney. I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
It wasn't really conversational. It was more of a bunch of accusations just thrown out.
She didn't say anything that was not true.
Sure.
He didn't support Trump.
Yeah.
No, and he admits that. But you can't talk about Maxine Waters encouraging people to harass. You can't condemn her for saying go out and harass conservatives or Trump supporters or people in the Trump administration, and then go out and harass people.
Okay, but this is where if it's somebody of your same party, you should be able to call them out.
Call them out.
Doing non-conservative
Call
things.
them out, but you're a joke. You're a traitor.
Right. And you can't expect them to actually engage with you when you use that tactic. That
what did she hope? What did she expect?
She wanted to get trending on Twitter. Is exactly what she wanted to do. That was her whole intention.
It worked.
She had no agenda other than she wanted to get her little pound of flesh. Right? That's what she wanted to do. Play clip number 2, Mark.
Know what we think. Traitor! Traitor! Traitor!
Bunch of babies.
Traitor! 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 Traitor!
So there
I
you go.
know your connection to Burisma and Joe Biden, Mitt Romney. Your constituents want to know why you're not going to certify the electoral college.
We won't.
Mitt Romney, you don't listen to your constituents.
It's never us.
All right, that's good, Mark.
Yeah, that may not be the proper time and place, but that's probably the mutual feelings of most conservatives in Utah.
I'm sure it probably is.
But that's what you would expect from a first grade class that didn't get their,
And again, here's my issue with those things, because I'm the one who said just a little while ago, say maybe time to start overthrowing some things, which will get a lot stronger than you screaming traitor on a plane. The issue that I have, you're messing up by putting that dog up there. I'm telling you, she is going to start growling. She doesn't like to be held up.
She's not happy about what you're talking about.
I know. She's, but anyway. It's when the cell phones come out. It's when the cell phones come out.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fight revolutions with your cell phones out so you can get on social media.
Right.
That's why you have it out, because they want to document it. They want to get trending. That's what they want.
And they want to have their moment of virtue signaling and grandstanding. And here, everybody, just retweet and get me trending.
Yeah. It is 2021. And that's what people do.
Well, that is true. No, it is true.
It's part of our culture.
I understand. That's what they do. But the reason why they're doing it is for that very reason. That's the motivation. My thing is, if you want to call him a traitor, call him a traitor. But when somebody comes back there and punches you in the mouth, I bet that cell phone's...
Where's your cell phone then? Boom.
Yeah.
Well, the progressives, they'll get onto their own people for not being progressive enough. We should be, as conservatives, get on our people for not being conservative enough.
Well, it's too late for that.
Well, we're not conservative. Nothing.
No.
They're all wussies.
Yeah. Oh, it makes me tired, Natalie.
Well, at least they had some balls.
Well, they got some balls.
There's
and
that.
I know there are people who's watching this. They'll disagree with me. Like, oh, hey, you definitely should have called him out. They definitely should have called him out. Okay.
Yeah,
I have no problem with them calling him out. That's not my point. My issue is when it turns into harassment. Don't harass somebody and then condemn others for harassing you. If y'all want to go at it, let's go at it. If we're just going to throw out all civility and just have at it. And I know how people come at me. They're going to say, "Oh, civility's gone." I'm done. Look, I'm on record saying I don't want your unity. I don't want any of it. Sorry, Candace.
They didn't throw anything at him. They stayed 6 feet away. Now I think the stuff on the airplane might have been a little much, because then you start affecting other people. Yeah. But at that moment, 6 feet away, having a conversation.
Can we put "I don't want your effing unity" on a T-shirt? I think we should. I don't want your effing unity, but just don't say effing.
So sweet.
Leave it out.
You can say freaking.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Flipping.
Well, this has been encouraging, just like you promised.
I know. Especially if they fly Mitt Romney's plane into the Capitol on Wednesday.
Jeez.
Isn't that terrible? It's horrible. That would be horrible if that were to happen. No, seriously. We're living in, it's going to be some strange times. coming up here.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. What do you think is next?
You're going to have a spineless, non-existent president in
Okay.
Joe Biden. Where's Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Where is he?
It's in a basement in New Hampshire.
Has anybody
Or
heard?
Vermont or wherever
He's trying to find his dentures. He lost them somewhere. Chiclet teeth.
Has anybody heard anything from Joe Biden, really, of any substance that's...
Have
Have
we ever?
I know.
Have we ever?
I mean,
No. So that's, that would be, and I kind of had this monologue rant idea in my head, and I said, no, I want people to remember, if you take anything away from this, you're the one that's in control. The people of America are the ones that are in control. Now, where it gets sticky is we're so divided. We're so divided, and I mean, we are polarizingly so. We're at opposite ends of the spectrum, and some people could make the argument that maybe Donald Trump exacerbated that. Maybe Donald Trump was, but I think we were already divided. A Trump comes along and just exposes what's already there.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing Joe Biden is going to be used for is to put the dirt back over the exposed corpse, right? Because the soul of America is dead in many ways. It's necrotic. It's decaying in some ways. And we got to get back to a point where we have a sense of patriotism. We have a sense of drive and a love for our heritage and our foundations. And it's hard to do that when you protest your anthem, when you burn your flag, when you stomp on your documents, those things which have made us foundationally and pridefully Americans, when you don't want to put America first, when you want globalization, those type of things, when you start bringing us down, the spirit and the morale of a nation comes down as well. Half this country is perfectly fine with that. The other half is livid and seething with rage over it because they're so pissed off. So you're the one that's in control. We've got to start fighting now. Donald Trump was not prepared for what happened November 3rd. Just like Hillary Clinton wasn't prepared for what happened in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump wasn't prepared. He was not prepared to have to do this fight. But here we are in the middle of it. And ultimately, it's going to come down to the people. Anyway, I love y'all.
I bet there's a lot of investigations that are fixed to be closed. Anything that Donald Trump opened up will be closed, and we won't hear any more.
You think he'll tell all the secrets?
I hope so.
He's going to come out and be like, "Screw it! Here's everything. There are aliens deep
Tell
out."
All book will be dropping soon.
Yeah.
Watch.
Oh, he'll make another $1 billion.
Right, exactly.
Love it.
Donnie T ain't got to worry about money.
Oh no, he's off to Mar-a-Lago after the 20th.
Yeah.
Peace.
It's a sad day for America, and losing these Senate seats, if they lose them in Georgia, we can say it tongue in cheek, but in all honesty, we're screwed. We're going to be screwed. Joe Biden be packing the courts. It's going to get ugly. So I hope patriots are unapologetic, and I hope they're ready to fight. And yeah, we're going to be, so we think right now, at least with all these shutdowns, we're going to be in Tomball, Texas on Thursday night, and we're going to be in Conroe Friday night. Go to watchchad.com. That's where all the fun stuff is. We love you. God bless you. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Bye.